Hey guys, well, it has been a really super nasty, just rainy, yucky week, and we did not get a whole lot done. We got a few little projects done, a little bit more added to the porch, a few things are popping up, and so we got some good germination, got some plants coming up, and so that's what I'm going to do a real quick tour, and we're going to talk about the planting guides. So if you were on the Facebook group or Instagram, you know about those. And so I'm just going to run through those real quick, and all right, let's get started. Oh yes, I have got the incubator in the bathroom. Currently going through an Art Deco, see if I can see this side, mural. So some of y'all who have been on the Facebook group have seen some of that, and I know I haven't gotten to it. That's a sneak peek. Y'all can't see what's in the window. That's what's going to be on the far wall. But so stay tuned for that, because one day I will get a video about this awesome mural and bathroom redo. So all right, but back to the incubator. So we have got 28 of the golden buff orpingtons that are outside. So that's the only breed that we have. Now, the reason that we only have golden buff orpingtons is exactly for this reason, for hatching and for possibly selling them, because in the past we had like a mixed breed of chickens. We just had the ones that we thought looked cool or had different colored eggs, but the problem is when people want to buy them, they ask you what they are and you're like, well, I don't really know, because they were all mixed up, because we would have different roosters too, and it just was kind of hard to sell them sometimes. Some people just want the fancy breeds and they just want to have fun with the chickens, different colors and stuff. They don't really care about production. They don't really care about laying and that kind of thing. But if you're looking for a bird that's a good layer, that you're gonna make sure you know you're gonna have good eggs, and that they survive well in your climate, that they have a good personality, and that's how we went with the buff orpingtons. And they're a really good breed of bird, and the reason that we have stuck with just the ones we have is we know for a fact what they are, and so when people are asking for those eggs and are looking for those chicks, it's a lot easier for us to sell those if we need to say, hey, we know what this is. It's kind of like not a mixed breed bird, or kind of like it's almost like a mutt, like you don't know what the bird's going to be. So that's the reason why we've chosen that type of bird. It's a great layer, does really good in our area, has a great personality, they're great foragers, so just overall that works for us. And I have them in the bathroom because, just plain and simple, it is an easy place for me to check on them all throughout the day, because I know I'm going to come in the bathroom first thing in the morning, probably last thing at night, in between during the day, and then I can check on the temperature and I can check on the humidity. And I've had this piece of paper on here since obviously 5/19, and the temp has between 99.5 and 100, so making sure it stays right there. And the humidity, so 28 to 50%, it's on 30, so I'm going to add just a couple of drops of water in through there, and then turn 3 times a day. I don't have to do that because we bought a turner with this, which was the best thing ever. If you buy an incubator, buy the rotator, the egg turner, because it's totally worth it. It's awful when you have to turn them yourself, because you forget halfway through and then you're not sure like how many times you did it and all that good jazz. So all right, well, and let's see, it's already been 3 days, 4 maybe, so we're going to say in 15 days into 16, 17, 18, we should start to see some baby chicks. So. Alright, so I just got finished planting this bed alongside the chicken coop here. So what we have done is we have fenced them into the orchard, and then we had to put a second layer of chicken wire there because they kept getting out, about 5 of them. The bigger ones couldn't squeeze out of the holes, but the younger ones can, and they keep doing it. And now that it's planting time, that can't happen. And we know if we put younger chicks in there, not baby chicks, but I can't think of the word right now, but if we put the pullets in there, then they are going to be able to get out in the younger chickens. So we put an extra thing of chicken wire there. So the plan is, here we have lilies, so just day lilies. I did some gladiolas. Goodness, lost the name of it. Gladiolas there. And some daffodils. Now the lilies and the daffodils are just splitting. So if you're on the Facebook group, you saw where we spent a day just splitting lilies up and daffodils and digging them up in places they didn't need to be, or they're fixing to get covered up by the porch. This is where they went, and the chickens have actually been going through the wire, kind of popping and getting off of the lilies, because it's safe to eat the new shoots. You can actually even eat like new lily shoots that are coming up, so that's a culinary thing, so it's safe for them to eat. And then the daffodils are just pretty. I mean, they're gonna look good. The gladiolas with their tall stems, I'm hoping that I can like connect them to the fence and help them stand up better, because if you ever had gladiolas, like all mine always like, so I end up having to like prop them up by these like tall wires and stuff. And so I'm just gonna give you a close-up and let you see what Carl did on his side of the fence. All right, and here on this side is Carl's comfrey side. So we have comfrey lining all down the fence row here. And he's also put comfrey in between the figs and all through the blueberries. And the reason that we do comfrey, and I'll zoom in on it, is it has many uses on the homestead. Oh, you can see where the chickens have already gotten it. Comfrey has a really, these are cuttings. So these have come off of other large comfrey plants that we have. They were root cuttings that we grew out in a separate pot, and then we just transplanted them out here. And so it will grow through the roots. So you don't have to worry about it being super invasive for this kind. It's just pretty much where you want to plant it. So why do we grow comfrey? Well, it has multiple uses. One of those, it has a really deep root that goes way down the soil, and it brings up tons of nutrients through the soil into the leaf. And chickens love it. And so that rooster we have out and the hens that we're getting out have already kind of like smacked on it today. So it's a great fodder or food for your animals. And so what will happen is we can come through here when the plant gets really big, okay, and then we can chop leaves off of it and we can throw it into the chicken pen as a snack for them, as food for them. And then it also is great because it has all that nutrients in the leaf, and it's considered a chop and drop. So you can chop some off of it, just like I would with the chicken, throw it over there, or we can put it around our other fruit trees and blueberries. And once those leaves have been dropped around there, it acts like a mulch, and as it decomposes and creates like almost like composting, so all those nutrients are going back into the ground in the roots of those fruit trees and bushes. It is also has a great medicinal use. So let's go to this one. It's a little bigger. All right, so this is a great example of a nice leaf. Not only is it a fodder for your animals, not only is it a great chop and drop to put nutrients back into your soil for your other plants, but it also has great medicinal uses. If you type in comfrey in Google, do a Google search, you're going to see a ton of medicinal stuff pop up first. So I have noticed that. And the leaves can be used for a salve for burns and cuts and sores. You can also take a leaf, you can crush it up if you have a cut or sore and put it on top of it. A bug bite, we've used it for stings and stuff, and it works great, and it soothes the injury, and it's just a great overall plant. I plan in the future to be able to make some salve. I have not made salve out of comfrey yet, and so I would love to be able to do that. But this is just a great renewable resource. So just like those, flowers over there that multiply, split them up, create more, comfrey can too. We actually had to order our comfrey and bring it in because we couldn't find anybody locally that had any. And hopefully by next year and this fall, we'll be able to start getting cuttings that we can actually sell locally to anyone who wants comfrey. Another bonuses to comfrey is a beautiful plant. It has awesome, beautiful flowers on it, and bees absolutely love it. So if you're looking for something in your yard, this would be great. Another thing that I posted in the Facebook group this week was possibilities of your stimulus check. Like, how could you use it on a new homestead, or if you just wanted to start a small garden. And one of my suggestions was edible plants and trees and bushes. Okay, and then there was a conversation on Facebook where someone was asking for help with landscaping, and I just typed in, my suggestion is buy some edible plants. That way you're getting 2 for 1. You're still going to get your flowers. So over here we have our peach trees of just kind of their blooms are, you know, going away. The plums have already gone away, but they have beautiful flowers, just as long as you are with anything else. Figs don't really have flowers, but they have awesome leaves that have great shape to them. And then blueberries have these beautiful little bell flowers, and then you're going to get food off of them. So why wouldn't you do 2 for 1? Comfrey would also be a great addition, and you can layer these. So just like the forest layers itself, and in permaculture it teaches this, we're slowly getting our higher things established. And so you might put you have a higher tree, then you have a bush, then you have something like comfrey underneath it, where they all work together. So just a suggestion, if you're looking for a cool plant, comfrey might be it. If you watched a past video, you remember that this is going to be our composting chicken orchard area. So their job is to continuously just pretty much poo all over this thing and just give nutrients to our fruit trees. So that is the plan. And then we are going to be throwing wood chips in there. We've already thrown a ton of compost in there. We put all our food scraps in there. And now we have a ton. If you hear my kids out there playing, they made these cool like shields out of paper boxes just like this. We got a ton of these from a business, and so they took the boxes off of them and made shields and colored them, and they're really cool, and they've been running around with them. So that's what you hear on the porch that now has a ramp that they think is just awesome. So cardboard is going to start getting poured into here, and tons of stuff to just make compost into flip. So for a while it's going to look kind of junky and messy, but that's just the beginning of the project. Once it starts really rolling, then it'll look nice and it'll make sense. So they have made signs all along the porch of different things where they can go and stuff, and there's shields, and I think they just did an awesome job. So that's what they were doing while we were out there working along the fence and getting that done. Pretty cool, man. I like it. I like it a lot. And it does kind of look like a cool place here. So, I don't know where it is, babe. Oh, there it is. Oh, gotcha. Cool. Oh, she added 3D elements of beads and stuff. So, kids have fun with cardboard way more. Banana. And stuff. I see it. I saw that sign. That's cool. So you can see, update a little bit on the porch. Got some of it done to just kind of keep it from falling off. So my dad came and he worked a whole day on that by himself. So I don't know how he does it, but he does. And then this is all the cardboard we got. And all this is going to go out there. One day I'm going to do a whole thing on cardboard. Cardboard is awesome for your garden and your homestead. So if you're able to get any of it, definitely take it. Alright guys, so you should have gotten your 2 emails. Yes, there were 2. I know I was a little sneaky about that, but let's face it, if I just would have sent you a guide and not the basics, that just would have been irresponsible of me, okay? So what I did is I sent the first email, okay, and it was the basics. I really need you to read that email, go over it, and make sure that you understand the stuff in it. Growing zones, where's your growing zone, last frost date, plants, you need to be able to research and know about the plants that are on the guide, okay? You need to do some intuitive gardening, like common sense, watch for things, figure out where your area, things that are in your area, things to do about seeds and soil. So definitely read that first email, and then in the second email I sent the guides, okay? So I knew you were just going to scroll down, get the guide, and just go off. And the thing is you just can't plant a seed in soil and walk off. It's not going to work. It's just like anything. And as I mentioned, I mean, the first 2 years of gardening, I killed my garden. We didn't really have anything produced out of it because I didn't take the time to learn and research. I took for granted what my parents and my grandparents did, okay? So you have to spend some time doing that. All right, so second one, you did get your guide. And then this is a suggestion. As I said, for my area 7B, you have your calendar where you can mark the days on the calendar and then mark what day you actually planted it on. And then here you can write, you know, big, I planted here, March whatever, and you can kind of keep up with what you're doing. And notes, did it work? Did something not work? And it's okay to fail. It's going to happen. You're going to mess things up. Some things are not going to work and some things are, but the more that you practice or the more that you garden, the better you're going to get. Just like if you're playing a sport, an instrument, even drawing, like I tell my kids at school, I'm like, I don't expect you to be able to draw when you show up. It takes practice. Same thing with gardening. So a lot of what I mentioned on the list is actually in this bed. So lettuces, which includes like cress, lettuce, radishes. I've already done carrots, kale, and so easy to grow. So we have lettuce, kale, radishes, carrots, spinach, and sweet peas. So my sweet peas have actually started to bud up. I saw them. So excited about that. And then the reason I suggest those is not only are they just easy to grow, so it gives you some encouragement that yes, you do have a green thumb and it is possible to grow food, but also for kids and even beginning gardeners, you want a quick result. So you want to be able to look at something and say, I did that, I can do this, and I'm willing to wait. But this is a good variety of things that quick germination, quick gathering, so you will be able to actually like pluck that radish, you know, a lot sooner than the carrots. You can be able to see the carrots, but that's a 90-day process. So for a kid, they don't understand 90 days. They just think, we're like, what was the point in us doing this? We didn't get anything out of it. It's not until they finally pull the carrots. So that first year, if you have kids, it's an experiment for them too. So you want to plant the radish, which is a quick one, so they'll be able to pick those, and that gives them something to do while they're waiting on the carrots, as well as with the salad. And who doesn't like to snack on a radish? So, and you'd be surprised, what your kid didn't eat before, they'll eat if they grow it or if they've seen it, you know, in the garden and through the process of growing. So include them in what you're doing, and just use your, you know, your common sense of what they can and cannot do according to age. Another thing that I mentioned as a tip is don't plant stuff that you don't eat. So if I plant a ton of yellow squash and nobody in my family eats it, why did I do that? Like, it's just gonna waste. I'm gonna have to give it away. And so don't do that. Just pick the things that you know you want. Another tip is, if you're not sure if you like something, go to a fresh market. Don't be wary of what, you know, grocery store you get it from, because that stuff could be weeks old. It traveled a really long ways. So if you can get a hold of like some fresh of something that you haven't tried before, and you're like, well, I want to grow it, but I'm not really sure that I'm gonna like it, do it that way first. All right, well, let's just do a quick tour of what's going on on the porch. And as you can see, the salad bowl is going well. Radishes are growing really good. So these are the German giants, and this is salad bowl. Here is little Jim, so they are starting to show up. Simpson's starting to show up, and then the cress that I did myself. Cress is a super quick one, and it just keeps going. It doesn't stop. It has a spice to it, so it's almost like eating a radish, just in like a green form, and it kind of gives a little spice to your salad, so it's really good. Let's go around this porch. We're going to see what's popping up. Not a whole lot, I will say that. I did get impatient, and I went ahead and I got my cushions out because I wanted to sit on them. So they're out. I did leave all my plants. They are protected by the walls and by even the cement wall along here. So it protects them, and I don't really have to worry too much about my plants unless it gets really cold, and I'll bring all those in. But let's just see what happens. Okay, there is germination in the carrots, so they are here. I left the trays on top of there, and so some of them got kind of spingly. This is not one of them, so this is going to end up, I'm going to pick it later, but I'm pretty sure it's not. Here I have sweet pea. Listen, oh, Well, I thought the quail were going to go off. Here we have our sweet peas popping up. So they're going to go up along this trellis, and that's going to be awesome. And we have spinach coming up. So let's see if I can find a really good one right there. There's some spinach. That is spinach, spinach, spinach. So, alright, so this is my plastic that I've been covering this over at night, especially during the storms. We had several days of just really nasty stormy weather, and so I put up painter sticks at the end and I just draped it over it and put those bricks like there and there to hold it down, and that worked pretty well. So that's a good idea for that. We did just move those lilies and daffodils and everything out there in comfrey, and so I watered that earlier with some extra. That is the bee balm. It is just going crazy. I'm excited about that. And there's not, the carrots over here have started to germinate, and I just thought with the storms and stuff I left it up there, and I guess I maybe left it up there a little too long, but some of them got really spingly, so they are, hopefully with the sun they'll be okay. So porch wise, like I said, that's what we got going on right now, and he pretty much did that by himself out here, and we're just going to keep going. It's just a big project, and the weather has not been our friend at all. Brought you over here because look, y'all, my kale, it's blooming. So as long as I get some nice like pollination, and there's all kinds of bugs that do pollination. I saw bees on the fruit trees, so the peaches and the pears, of course, were blooming like crazy, and excited to get some seeds off of these. And in the big containers, I did see, I see a sweet pea coming up there, and one over here, and the plan is for them to go up, and over there, I think I saw one over there. So, alright, well that is it for the porch this week. Well, thanks for joining me on this quick little tour, and I hope you got a little bit more insight on what we're doing here. And if you enjoy it and like it, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up. You can share it, and that just helps us get out to more people. You can join the Facebook group and Instagram to see what we're doing, and of course go to the Wildwood Wonder website. All the links are below. Alright guys, y'all have a great week.